Let's go. Are we live? We are. And I got audio, so I'm good there. Let's go ahead and turn the phone on. And I love how Chris posts all this stuff on the on the beginning of the YouTube video as well. Those of you watching on YouTube, welcome. We'll get started here in just a second. Just getting the video up and running. Make sure the audio is turned down there. Get that going. Dismiss the message. Let's go ahead and do the promotional stuff. And then we'll get started. Is this where I want to do it? Or do I want to do it? No, I want to do it down here. Go ahead and post this here. Do that. And we are good to go, I believe. We're up and running. Let's dismiss the message. M9230 followed 15 minutes ago. Appreciate that. What am I doing? Camera. Got the camera working. Let's turn the camera on. There is the camera. All right, so we'll get started with the YouTube stuff as we wait for people to filter in here on Twitch. Good evening, I guess, and welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 24 with the Chicago White Sox here on General Manager Games. My name is Aaron, and we are at the end of the season. So last episode, the episode in the middle of the week, I took us through the end of the regular season and the postseason, where we defeated the Twins in the wild card round, 2-0. Then we lost to the eventual World Series champion Texas Rangers in the American League Division Series. So we made the playoffs for the first time in our 4-year run at the helm of the White Sox. We have seen, I believe, improvement every year. I could be wrong, but yeah, we were one game worse in 24 than we were in 23. So back-to-back seasons of being over 500. This was our first division championship. Made the playoffs the first time since the COVID year, and got knocked out in the American League American League Division Series, rather. Yeah. So it's time for the offseason. I wanted to switch things up a little bit and do the offseason in this episode. We'd been doing the beginning of the season through the draft in most of these, and I wanted to do the offseason in this episode. So that's what we're going to do. Normally I would have done the playoffs and the offseason all in one episode, but like I said, I wanted to do the offseason here live. So we are right at the beginning of the offseason. I keep looking to my left because that's where my phone is. It's got my chat. So that's what you're seeing when you see me look to my left like that. But I haven't done anything. I guess we'll just kind of get started here. So I looked at some of my message or some of my emails, but I think I looked at this in the last episode too. So we have a budget of $150 million, which isn't nearly enough for our team. You can see we are $32 million over our budget, which means we will not be able to offer anybody arbitration right now. So if we want to be able to offer arbitration, we're going to need to figure out a way to cut about $30 million from about $33 million from our payroll right now. If you look at our payroll, I mean, there aren't a lot of huge contracts. The obvious ones are Rosarena and Nootbaar. Those are the two big ones. Cease, it's a reasonable contract given the performance he's put up the last 2 years. Not really looking to move him. Arozarena has been really, really good the last 2 years as well. So I'm not crazy about trading Randy, but it might be what ultimately is best for the club. Gorman's going to be making up to $10 million in arbitration unless we can figure out a way to chop that $30 million and offer him less. Tanner Houck at 9, Matt Brash at 8.5, Rodriguez, Arrighetti both at 5.5. Leiter. This is probably an easy one here. Mark Leiter at 7.3. Be an easy way to chop some money. But we have to actually trade him. We can't just non-tender because when you non-tender, the budget stays there. So, or we could just potentially release too. That's the other option. So we'll just kind of see if there are any offers for Mark Leiter. Yeah, I mean, he was good. He was really, really good for us. But for $7 million, he's extremely popular too, which is the other problem. Nootbaar is an easy decision to trade. Yeah, I agree. NS, I agree as well. So let's try that. Let's try that. Where is he? Right here. If he had put up a full season of what he did in his half season with us, it'd be a different story because, he puts up 5 WAR or something like that. It's a different story. But 1 WAR and he's asking for $20 million. Let's go ahead and sim ahead of day. All right. Now we can offer up Nootbaar. Let's see what sorts of offers are available for Lars. Ultimately, this is, our way of just shedding salary. How is this guy the number 79 prospect in baseball? I don't know. Like to get a useful piece in return, but it doesn't look like there are that many. That doesn't look like there are that many options, obviously, or apparently is the word I'm looking for. Starting pitching may be an area of strength with Cease, Brash, and the two. That was, I was looking at some of this stuff offline, like I wasn't making any moves, but I was just kind of looking at kind of where I stood, and that's something that I considered as well. I considered Tanner Houck rather. Going with Cease, Brash, Elder, and then going with Appleby and Luis Serna. That's kind of what I was thinking about, and then potentially moving on from Leiter, maybe Rodriguez as well, because there's a lot of money tied up in our now tied up in our pitching staff that wasn't necessarily there before. We can either just Triolo's a pretty good defensive third baseman. The bat's not particularly good. He's okay against lefties. It's not Arb, right? No, it is Arb. What's his Arb number? 1.6, which is manageable. I wonder if OSA overvalues Vera. We can look. That's, maybe, we do something like that to see if that increases the value that we can get for Nootbaar. Like, I think Vera, it could be valuable to the team. Yeah, like it doesn't really change much of anything. In fact, the offers get worse in some instances. Bryce Miller, but pitcher for pitcher, could bring in Emerson Hancock, but again, I'd rather a bat that isn't making Breeze. No, what had happened was I had accidentally I don't know what the right word is, but through Kaspersky, I shut off the access to the camera, so I had to go into Kaspersky and give it kind of the all clear again. But yeah, I mean, I think Newt Bar, because I mean, we can't do anything. Like, I can't offer any of these players arbitration right now until we are able to cut about $33 million off our payroll. Tanner Houck is good player, but for $9 million, I don't know. I just, given the depth that we have pitching wise, I don't think that's a. But it's so hard to sit here and go, all right, well, we'll trade him for this guy who's clearly a worse player than him. What if we did? Who were the other pitchers that were making a lot of money? Houck is at 9. Rodriguez is at 5.5. Leiter's at 7.3. I think Leiter's an easy one. Well, maybe not an easy one, but maybe there's a Houck and Leiter package or something. Yeah, that's Mr. Reinsdorf for you. Oh wait, no, I forgot. We don't even have Jerry anymore. We have his son, who's even worse. Yeah, I forgot. Jerry died. We can bring back Kashiwabara. That doesn't do anything for me. Nick Matone. Yeah, I mean, I guess I need to just get over the fact that we're not going to get equal value back, and that we just need to sort of take what we can get. We got a commercial, so I'll just keep screwing around here while I wait to come back. I think Newbar is the first one. I think with Lars, we need to just suck it up and say what can we get back and just take it. We get some prospects, which isn't bad. We get Antonio Gomez. Always looking to improve our catcher situation. Just waiting for the ad to finish. Some decent players here. Well, not really, I guess. Celtics game has gotten started. They're up 9-6. Maybe a Sammy Ciani. William Lugo. I'm starting with the easy one, or the easier one. We're just ultimately going to take whichever deal here is the best, I think. I mean, maybe we just take Arias and see if we can add. I mean, can we get Arias and Gomez? Make it work now. All right. Anybody here that I'm ready to just trade? That's right. We're not paying anything to Yoshida. Prado's pretty bad. Just make sure there's nothing else. McDougal. No, he's a big dude, 6'6". Gorby. No, he's depth. Benavides, that's fine. All right, so Lars Nootbaar and Ruben Benavides to the Yankees for Brian Arias, who I'm going to turn around and just try to flip him. The game, he's the number 79 prospect in the game, so I have to think there's value as JT drills a 3. I have to think there's value there in Arias. So we're going to trade for Arias just to flip him, and then Gomez gives us some more organizational depth behind the plate, which I am okay with. What am I giving RJ 10 to 15? Wrong league. Wrong. Yeah, the fans didn't like Nootbaar leaving. That's a problem, but that's the wrong league. RJ in this league is oops, I spell right. RJ Mayer. Yeah. RJ is a non-factor in this world, unfortunately. What's going on, FJ? All right, so that gets us down to 10 million, and it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse because I think the next move is to simply release Mark Leiter. I don't believe anybody has any interest in him. I think the next move is simply to release Mark Leiter, who's incredibly popular as well. RJ is the GOAT in every league. Yeah, I suppose so. Even when he's not, he is. Yeah, no team offers a single trade. I hate to do this, especially given that he's a good pitcher. He's a good pitcher. He's replaceable though. He's replaceable, and we can bounce back. We can bounce back on the fan interest hits. We can. So we'll just go ahead and release him. Fans didn't like that either. Sanders only rated. Yeah, he's rated really low, which I'm hoping means that there's additional growth in there that we don't see yet. Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope that there's additional growth that we don't see as available yet. All right, so we're almost there. Almost there. Houck, I think, is that player. We get for Tanner. Tariq Skubal. I don't know. Let's look. He's with the Twins. He's making $16 million. I will pass on Tariq Skubal. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants Houck. We may have to. And I did this in one of my other saves. I ended up cutting somebody and then brought him back in the offseason for less. So that may be something we try to do with Houck. And he's been pretty good, but for $9 million, I think we just release. All right, so that gives us enough money. And that's hard. It's hard to do. That is hard to do, but at least now we have a little bit of money to start offering some players arbitration. Where do we start? We start with the AL ERA leader in Matt Brash. The max we can offer him is 5.6. Yeah, that's a problem. I think that might be the max we can offer anybody. Arrighetti was only worth 1.3 WAR last year. He wants 5.5. Rodriguez wants 5.5. Yeah, I don't think I'm paying Rodriguez that kind of money either. His ratings look like they just dropped. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping for here. Is that some of these players will ask for less in free agency. All right, well, let's start with the players we can afford and just kind of go from there. So Marcelo Meyer wants 4.1. Yeah, we're good with that. So he wants 4.1. So can we offer him 3.9? It's got to be 4. Okay. Well, at least we get the offer to him. Rafaela at 2. 9. My nose is super itchy. Really. My Bruins absolutely steamrolled the Panthers today. That was fantastic to watch, and now I'm watching the Celtics. Red Sox took a series from the first place Brewers. Good stuff there as well. Max Meyer wants 2.6. Dollard wants 1.6. We're good with that. He's not interested in talking to us. All right. Meyer at 2.6, so 2.45. Nope. 2.5 for Meyer. Arrighetti. I think we're going to need him given some of the other moves we've made. So he wants 5, so 2.5, 250. Yep. Parker Meadows at 2.4, 2.3. Yep. All right, so that leaves us with 3. Well, at least 3 players that I'd like to bring back, but I think that means we have to. What is our fan interest down to? It's down to 78. If we get rid of Rodriguez, we should, I would, in theory, be able to make that fan interest back signing Brash. Maybe. I think we just, fans aren't going to like that either. So we're down to a 76, but at least we have the money to sign our players to arbitration now. Brash wants 8.4. Not prepared to give him that much. Offer him 8. Gorman wants 9,975. So that's 950. Yep. All right, so that gives us $11 million to play with right now. Also, ew, Bruins. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Also, I've come to hate Matthew Tkachuk, just for what it's worth. How's Kellner looking? His ratings have dropped. All of his ratings dropped. He was I think last episode he was a 70 or an 80 second baseman, but the ratings have decreased. I mean, I'll probably call him up at this point and let him play in A-ball as a second baseman, and we'll see. But nothing great so far. Arias. Let's put Arias there. Serna will come up. Alamon will come up. Cantorino will come up. Dollard will come up. Just trying to fill out those roles, right, and figure out what our pitching staff is going to look like. I think that's our rotation. Cease, Brash, Elder, Appleby, Serna. And we still have more than enough really quality arms in our bullpen, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Does anybody... he's a top 100 prospect. Not really valuable to us, but maybe valuable to another team. Not really. Maybe there's a prospect that somebody would be willing to give up, like an actual prospect. Yeah, I mean, there are more names here. There's more people interested in Arias than some of the other players that we were putting on the block. Ronzi Contreras. Again, we don't really need pitching. James Wood. Let's sim ahead a couple of days here. Keller turned into a two-way bench guy for you. I mean, there's value in that, right? I mean, there's value in having a bench player who can do multiple things. So we get fan interest bump for Arrighetti, and that is it. So we go from an 82 to a 77 with the players that we've cut and the players that we've signed. So I think we can make that up in the off season. I think. Oh, right, Matt Brash fan bump slightly. It takes us to what, a 78 now? Yeah. So we've lost 4 percentage points in fan interest. The fan loyalty is the issue, and I don't know like where they're getting the market size from, but Chicago is not an above average market unless they're saying specifically the market that the White Sox have is slightly above average. I mean, it's what, the second largest city in the United States or something. Gold Gloves, American League. Did we have anything? We did not. Aaron Nola, Reese McGuire, Hosmer, Spinall, Arias, Correa, McCarthy, Buxton, Mason Hour. And then in the NL, Kyle Wright, Drew Romo, Ellie De La Cruz, CJ Abrams, Ursula, Armando Cruz, Brandon Nimmo, Alex Ramirez, Seiya Suzuki. He was really good as a pinch hitter. Then injuries started, forced you to start him for a little under a month, and he kind of tanked his stats. Yeah, right. You get exposed, right? That's kind of what happens. Were you planning on doing I think so, NS. I think my plan, I don't know if it's going to be here or if it's going to be over on my channel, but I think the plan is once I am done with whether it's the Cubs or the Sox, whichever one I feel like finishing first, I think I'm going to do an expansion series. And I'll probably do it within the world that we're in so that we don't have to so that we don't have to, start all over and start going through those first couple of years of bad drafts and that sort of thing. The fact that market size increases as the team does better sort of makes it a useless metric. Yeah, Josh, you're absolutely right. In order to improve your market size, you have to do better. If you don't do better, your market size never increases. Like Chicago's a huge market. Like the market size should reflect that regardless of how well the team is. Or how good the team is, rather. Silver Sluggers in the American League: Kirk, Vlad, Jackson Holiday, Wander Franco, Estevan Machado for the Blue Jays, Colby Backus for the Blue Jays as well. Look at that. Wow. 6th round pick for the Blue Jays, coming along nicely. 46 home runs and then 39 home runs. Jason Dominguez, Aaron Judge, and Shohei. In the National League: Herrera, Freddie Freeman, Cody Schreier, Isaac Pacheco, Jackson Merrill, Juan Soto, Vaughn Brown, Acuna, and Austin Riley. How to increase market size, be good at, yeah, exactly, Cardinal fan. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's how the game, that's how it works in this game. But sometimes in order to be good at baseball, you need a larger market size because it's all linked, right? Like, the amount of money that your owner gives you is based off fan interest and how you did the previous year and your market size and all that stuff. So it's all related. So, it's the chicken and the hen, right? Do you play good baseball first and then get the budget to increase, or do you get the budgeting to increase so that you can be a better team? But the White Sox performing well probably isn't causing more people to love the Chicago. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Like, the fact that the Celtics are up 8. Wow. The fact that the Celtics are up 11. The fact that the Cubs and Sox are here aren't making more people move to this area. That being said, you bring up that brings up my father-in-law was born and raised in Utica, New York. And when he was a kid, he would listen to old AM radio on his, transistor radio in his bedroom. And the only radio station he could pick up was WGN. And so he used to listen to Blackhawks games as a kid growing up. And he became a Blackhawks fan, and he actually moved to Chicago because he was a Blackhawks fan. And he's been here now for, 50 years or whatever. Is that the same Ivan Herrera that played for the Cardinals? I think so. Yep. He was traded to the Cardinals in 2023 at the deadline for... where is it? 7:30. A lot of trades leading up to the deadline. Right there. Hunter Harvey for Ivan Herrera and a couple of minor leaguers. So that was a thing. You feel like success is more linked to fan loyalty than market size. I think fan interest is the first sticking point. If you can get a large fan interest bump in the offseason, you can get a significant bump to your budget for the following year, which allows you to spend more money in player scouting and development, which allows you to spend more money in potentially in free agency as well, which allows you to win more games, which then increases your fan loyalty. Would it be cool if two teams in the same market had influence? That's FJ. That's what I'm wondering. Like, is the White Sox market size above average because the Cubs are also there? Because the Cubs have a big market size. It's the same damn market. It's Chicago, and the Cubs were actually worse than the White Sox. So is their market worse because there are just more Cubs fans in Chicago than there are White Sox fans? Like, is that how that metric works? Like, I don't know. What are we looking at? Rookie of the year. Is there anything else we want to try to do before we get to the off season? Colin McKinney was our first round pick in 2026. He's developing 25th prospect in baseball. You'll like that. We're going to need that. We're certainly going to need that. Why I have this guy disabled, but I don't think there's anything else. I think we traded the contracts that we had to trade. We got Gorman back for 9.5. If you can give us those numbers next year, I'll be fine with it. Brash is going to start to get really expensive. He has another season like he did this year. We may be forced to trade him next year. What about the Mets and Yankees? I think that's how they handled the Mets budget, is they just gave them like ridiculous market sizes. Yeah, astronomical market size for the Mets and astronomical for the Yankees. But they're also both playing really well, so that sort of makes sense. But yeah, you would think Chicago would be at least big, right? You won the World Series as the Marlins, and your fan interest went from like 63. It was 4 years of 85. Yeah, that's really weird. Because like in these two series that I've been playing here, a lot of my success has been linked to an increase in fan interest, not to market size or fan loyalty. Because I don't think I've had in the Cubs series, I think I had a bump to fan loyalty. Oh, and wait till you guys see my Cubs video tomorrow. If you haven't watched my July episode yet on my channel with the Cubs, make sure you do that tonight, because the next episode, which is the playoffs and the offseason, are absolutely insane. So make sure you watch that tonight. You refuse. No, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. You can root against me, but you got to watch it. Yeah, so I think we just get to the free agency, because I think we're going to have a little bit more money than that once we get to free agency. When you did your Royals playthrough in 23, loyalty and interest max, but market size never changed. Yeah, I don't know if you can change. Like, I don't like fan interest and fan loyalty. You can change as a direct impact of winning, but I don't know, like, market size. I don't recall seeing a market size change very often. I don't know. AL top rookie Heriberto Hernandez. He was somebody I was looking at in a trade. He must have just developed. Yeah, his ratings have just increased. Jackson Holiday, Davis Schneider in the NL. It's Yerlin Confidan of the Reds at 35 home runs. AL Manager of the Year, Reynaldo Ruiz of the Rangers, and Gabe Kapler in the NL. You like piling up a backlog of your videos? Well, tomorrow I got a big one coming out tomorrow. Luis Castillo, 19-11, wins the Cy Young. Matt Brash finishes 6th. In the National League, Brandon Woodruff, followed by Spencer Strider and Will Sanders. Will Sanders was a part of one of my playthroughs last year. I can't remember which one at this point, but he had a good year. And the MVPs. There you go, FJ. Seattle wins the Cy Young and the MVP. It's 2-time for Julio Rodriguez. Yeah, he's a two-time MVP, or just one? Yeah, he won the MVP, and I think in my Cubs series too. Look at those WARs: 7.3, 8.2, 6.8. Look at his defense. Holy hell! And that is a nothing contract. 10 years, $158 million. That is a nothing contract. Sometimes bigger markets like Houston and Anaheim get the astronomical rating, but other than that, you haven't seen it often. I don't think I've seen a market size bump with either team yet. You need a new challenge. The Rockies difficult this year? The Rockies are difficult every year. The Rockies are always difficult. I think this year, though, they have a decent minor league. Excuse me. Holy hell. They have a decent minor league system. I think they've got some prospects, but yeah, the Rockies are always tough. Yeah, casual 7-war season by J-Rod. Yep. All right, so we've got the one arbitration case. It's with Taylor Dollard. He is important to our team for next year, I think, as a swing man. With no Sam Wesniak. Yeah, you got that right. With no Sam Wesniak, it is hopeless. You got to trade Wesniak for a bucket of bolts, too. That's how we got him. Celtics are up 11. All right, so let's see what Dollard gets in arbitration. I can't imagine it's going to be much, even if he wins. Yeah, 1.8. So we lose. We're down about $220,000 there. That's fine. I haven't done the Hall of Fame voting because the one time I tried, it crashed the game, and I just don't feel like doing that right now. So we'll sim ahead to free agency. You always see Romo, and yeah, it's Ezekiel Tovar. Yeah, it's Ezekiel Tovar. He plays really, really well in Out of the Park 24. Even with ratings that are below average offensively and defensively, he always plays really well. What do we have for money? What do we got for cash? $30 million. Let's go. Okay. $30 million to play with. You know what? I think I just kind of reverse engineered my way to figuring out the arbitration issue. And there's nothing I can do about it this year. But I think, and we'll have to test this next season, but I think when we get to the end of the season, if the player doesn't have a contract next year and we just release them, yep. I don't know if you guys are with me, but like last year we had Miggy Rojas, who was in the last year of his contract, and he was making $7 million. If we had just released him during arbitration, I think we get that $7 million back towards our budget, and that means we don't have to cut a Rosarena and the other players that we cut. So I think it just clicked with me. Just clicked. Yeah, Cardinal fan. It only happened once. So I've been hesitant to do it because of that once. I'm sure it was on my end, but yeah. All right, so international amateurs. What do we got? We got anything any good? I've had some really good luck in my offline saves with international amateurs, so I'm hoping. Nope, nothing. This guy's the best option out there, and nah. Free agents. San Diego. Yeah, it looks like pitchers. We don't really need any pitching. Colorado's tough, made the World Series with them twice, and then blew a 3-1 series lead, then came back from 3-0 down to lose Game 7, didn't sniff a title after that. That's harsh, isn't it? When you get that close and you can't get over the top. Yeah, FJ, you were showing us. I think you showed us some of those lineups over on Discord. All right, so we've got some money. We've got some money to spend, so let's go ahead and spend it. We don't really need to put any money into scouting and development. We're in a good position there. So if we look at our pitching staff, our rotation is set. I think we go something like that, probably in that order. Bullpen-wise, we still have Robinson, Perez, Arrighetti, Meyer, Cruz, Vera. Yeah, I mean, we are stacked in the bullpen. We just do not need any help in our bullpen. So really, it's all going to come down to our offense. Right now, let's just clear everything. Let's see exactly what we're dealing with here. So behind the plate, we got Sugasti. Second base, we have Marcelo Meyer. Third base, we have Nolan Gorman. Left field right now is a Rosarena. Center field is Kwan. Right field is Benny. So we're missing a shortstop. I think our designated hitter against righties is Yoshida. We're missing we could play Rafaela at short. I mean, he's passable. I mean, he's more than passable at the 65 range. I just like having him as that utility guy, but he can be our starting shortstop. His bat is more than enough, and his defense is passable too. Phone commercials. What, like ads for 18? Speaking of phones, I got a new phone today. I brand. I don't. That's a big deal for me. I don't get new phones. That's a big deal for me. I hadn't gotten a new phone in about 5 years. I got an iPhone 14. I've noticed a trend. If you have a very hitter-friendly park, just stack up on cheap bats who can hit bombs. Works for like my guy on my offline save, right? Like Miguel Bleis with his 59 home runs and 160 RBIs with his 45 contact. Spectrum and Verizon. I don't get Spectrum because we don't have that up here in Chicago, but I get Verizon and I get AT&T. So really, a first baseman. We need a first baseman and then probably a DH style bat against lefties. So let's see what's out there. Yeah, 36 home runs and 0 WAR. Yep. Okay. So, a bat who can hit lefties. You got Alejandro Kirk, who wants $27 million. He's a bat who can hit lefties, but not for $27 million. Trevor Story. Did he opt out of his contract? He did. He can hit lefties. I don't want to give up a draft pick for him. Where is... Did somebody sign him already? Oh, we traded him. Right. We just didn't cut Nootbaar. We traded him to the Yankees. Do we possibly bring back Diaz? You're not that wrong. Jeff McNeil's a really good bat, but fragile. $20 million for a fragile bat. Rockies in their little league park, yeah. Yep. I mean, there are some decent names here. Nothing that makes me, jump for joy, but Kike's available. Again, he can hit lefties. Not a ton going on here, honestly. Andy Diaz might be the way to go. Bring Andy back. I mean, he's been pretty good for us for a year and a half. 2.6 WAR. I mean, if it's a short-term deal, maybe we can OOTP cheese this a little bit. He wants $24 million. No. I can't imagine he wants that much money. Oh, yeah, $20. You do something like that? Would he take something like that? And it gives us our first baseman. It gives us our leadoff hitter. It gives us our bat against left-handed hitting. So the money's not that far off. He just doesn't like the team option. I don't mind the second year, I guess. And then if we have to... Is there anything on the trade block? No, literally nothing. You stopped caring about fragile players as long as they're not wrecked. Yeah, that's a good point. But Jeff McNeil is also known for getting hurt. I mean, his history, you look at just his batting history. I mean, he hasn't played more than 120 games in 4 seasons, really in any season in this save. So I wouldn't spend the money there. Diaz, though, he's an Iron Man. He's put up 2 good seasons for us as our leadoff man. I don't know that I want to pay him that much, though. mean, would he take something like that, and then we can always fidget with the vesting option if the ratings drop after year one? Okay, so he's been back up to 5 years, so he didn't like that at all. He didn't like that at all. I think we don't really have anything in our minor leagues ready to come up and replace. I mean, we're really going to be led by our pitching and our defense again this year. I mean, that's really what's going to do it for us. I want to see if there's any interest in Arias now that we're in the off season. There is. I mean, we can absolutely get a bat this way. You know, it's going to cost us. You know, it's going to cost us some money. Get Alex Thomas. What's his contract look like? Is it 16 million, 16, 22, 25, 25? It's not a terrible deal. Corbin Carroll isn't Corbin Carroll. He was actually traded. Columbus. Arizona moved to Columbus, by the way. I mean, I think we have to, right? I think we have to. And then we just figure out next year. I don't know why. Cardinal. Usually it's the A's that move to Columbus, but the A's are still in Oakland and the Arizona, and they did it. I was literally, I think it was in the off season of 2024, maybe 2025. I was trying to make a deal with them, and I sent an offer through, and I was waiting for their reply. And I didn't get a reply the next day like you normally do with Out of the Park 24 at this point. And I couldn't find Arizona. They were just gone. And I went in and I realized it was because they had moved like in the middle of the off season. It wasn't even like, you know, that on that day that the off season started. It was like the middle of the off season. It was like the Colts, the Baltimore Colts, when they moved to Indianapolis. It was just overnight. They just moved. Yeah, I feel like I have to make this deal. I mean, I'm going to look just to be thorough, but I feel like I have to make that deal. Okay. Sure. You want to trade me Brian Arias for Riley Green? 100%. Cool. All right. So we have just picked up our brand new middle of the order bat. And it gives us some flexibility now in the outfield as well. Rafaela probably becomes our start. Let's set him to short. So we've got a Rosa. I think now we can potentially talk about moving a Rosarena. I mean, that's insane, but I'm certainly not going to argue with it. It's not the bat against righties or lefties that we're looking for, but he's still really, really good, so no issues there. This allows us to put Green in center, move Quan over to left where he belongs. Tiger's going to Tiger. Yeah, I don't get it, man. So we've got this year and next year left for Rosarena. Let's immediately talk to Riley Green and see what he wants for an extension. Holy hell. I want to make sure I have financials. Yeah, I changed inflation from 0% to 1% because I just didn't want to deal with players asking for $60 and $70 million, but it looks like that may end up happening anyway. He is still ARB eligible for next season, right? So this isn't like a one and done thing. Yeah. I mean, his ARB number is 30 million. He's asking for his ARB number is 30. Celtics up big. So I don't know that we can even offer that. Yeah, the maximum allowable contract right now for 2028 is $7.5 million. So we would have to move a Rosarena, which I am totally. But again, that makes us really left-handed heavy. But I don't know that that's something I can worry about. Rosarena is really, really good against left-handed hitting. I mean, we don't have to do anything right now, right? We don't have to do anything right this second. We've got him for arbitration this year and next. We've got a couple different options, I think, throughout. The financials are a little bit janky this year, FJ. I will readily admit that. But because they're janky for everybody, I try not to let it, affect the gameplay too much. We have a couple options as the season progresses, though, right? You have one thing to say about Lars Nootbaar. Go ahead and say it. We've got a couple of options. We've got Stephen Kwan, whose contract isn't terrible. It's 18 this year and then 22 each of the next two. We got a Rosarena, who's good for 24 and 24 this year. So we have a couple options if we absolutely need to save money next season. Not to mention Matt Brash's his contract jumps up as well to, I think he was asking for $15 or $16 million or something. So gets our fan interest back up to an 81. Ticket price is $1, so we still have a little bit of money. My eyes are itchy. I think it's my office. I think my office is just filled with dust. Let's get up to the winter meetings and see what we see, and maybe we take a look at our minor league systems at the winter meetings. Sorry, losing my train of thought. I'm really tired today. I actually thought about not streaming and just sleeping, but do we not have an assistant GM? They want to send us Tayron Guerrero. Did our GM retire? I guess he did. General manager. This guy would be perfect if he favored. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, it doesn't truly matter. I guess we go Matt Klentak because he's cheap and he likes some of the stuff that I like. Cool. Oh, we have to. Completely forgot about this. They just vanished. Matt Brash, the GOAT. I don't know, FJ. I honestly, I don't know. But I always try to find one that fits my mold just from a, I don't know, reality standpoint, I guess. Klentak. Tanner Houck signs with the Rangers. Okay, he signed his $9 million contract. Yeah. I mean, that's what he wanted in arbitration, so that's what he ended up getting. Good for him. What about Leiter? Is he still available? He is. What does he want? He doesn't want to talk to me, that's for sure. All right, so we got about $7 million. Aaron Nola's still available. He wants $31 million. Yeah, look at what they did to his poor arm. He started 35 games, 224 innings. He was dominant last 2 years ago. There's Miggy. What does he wants? $11 million. Maybe we sign him to another 1-year contract. 1 year, $6 million. He's not going to like that, but it's fine. Let's get to the winter meetings. Yeah, FJ, I do that too. I can't be bothered to deal with the minor leagues for the players that I don't care about, right? Like, I care about who I care about, and everybody else, I just let my assistant GM deal with it. All right, so Riley Green is now a member of the Chicago White Sox. Lottery results: the Dodgers. Look at Los Angeles representing 1-2 in the draft. The Dodgers, the Angels, the Tigers, the Taurus, Toronto, and the Chicago Cubs moved from 13 to 6. All right, so we're at their winter meeting. So let's look and see now who is on the trade block. Freddie's making $27 million. Contract expires this year. Can we pick up a Freddie Freeman? Get the Dodgers to retain? Is that enough? I think that's enough. Nope, not quite enough. All right. Let's just keep throwing prospects at it until if you can offer a little more, we may be able to see. I don't want to give up Mullinax. Problem is our three best, I can't give up any of our three best prospects, and then everybody else was drafted last season. You always pick out your minor league coaches by hand to ensure they don't. Maybe it's something we do in this episode today. I have a difficult time going through that stuff. Maybe that's something we do today. What about Roderick Arias? I have no player that makes that work. How many prospects can I throw at this? Okay, so what about players off of our big league roster that we're comfortable giving up? If I give up Raffaello, we need a shortstop. And it's an ad, so we'll wait here for a minute. It's just FJ and I right now. I don't want to give up Raffaella. But it's good to know that there's at least some sort of interest. I mean, that gets it done. I think that's too much for 1 year of Freddie Freeman. Yeah, I will once I see if we can trade for Freddie Freeman here. That's something we'll take a look at. NS. I'm okay with Caminiti. I'm okay with Alberto. I'm obviously okay with Yoshida. Kellner's the only real prospect here, and he can't really pitch anymore, so he's really a second base prospect. So do we have... We add Arrighetti to that. Appleby, Cesares, Serna. No. You try to keep consistent. Yeah, so do I. Yeah, when I deal with it, that is something that I look at. Cam Robinson. Would we be okay giving up Cam Robinson? Not quite. No. I don't know if we can make it happen. I would love to pick up a Freddie Freeman. I don't know that we have... I mean, we have the pieces to do it, but I don't know if I want to give up the pieces that it's going to take. This gets it done. But I think this is a bridge too far for me because we're giving up our starting shortstop. I don't really care about Caminiti. 20-year-old second-round pick a couple of years ago. I mean, he looks like he might develop into a back-of-the-rotation guy, maybe. He does have the high work ethic. Alberto, I don't care about in the slightest. Yoshida, I have no loyalty to. We're not paying him anything. He was bad last year. Kellner, this feels like a deal that would make sense. It feels like a deal that is, I don't even know if fair is the right word, but Raffaella has been okay. His value is in his flexibility, but he's not a particularly good bat. He's been average in the field. What do you guys think? The issue is that if we make this deal, we don't have a starting shortstop, and we could just go in and go after a total all glove no bat guy. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this deal here. It feels like from a piece perspective that there's not a lot here that, NS, unfortunately he is. It's either him or Serna. I've tried adding other pieces, but nothing that, as I like to say, moves that needle at all. Yeah. I guess we could go Mullinax, but even that doesn't really change anything. Yeah. Is there a suitable replacement? Not on our team, there isn't. If we trade him, we don't have a shortstop. We have a surplus of outfielders, but we don't have a shortstop. Can we... I mean, I hate to turn around and trade someone like Stephen Kwan after a year, but... can we trade Quan? I mean, I think in left field, I think he probably plays a whole lot better. Let's see something. Can we get a shortstop for Jake Jaloff? No, we cannot. If we go to find a player, let's look up shortstops with 65 defense. Excuse me. I mean, we could grab a Nicky Lopez for $1.7 million to play shortstop for us if we really needed to. So that might not be a bad option. Does Los Angeles? It doesn't look like Los Angeles has anybody. But we can look. So if I gave you Rafaela, and then we look at the Dodgers lineup. They don't have a shortstop either. Their shortstop was Nicky Lopez. So we can move Rafaela in this deal and grab Nicky Lopez for $1.5 million to play shortstop for us. And that, I think, gives us a better defensive infield. I mean, offensively is where we struggled last year. We were great defensively. I think our pitching staff is going to be... We might take a small step backwards because we're putting Appleby and Serna in there. But I think we take a huge step forward offensively with Riley Green and Freddie Freeman out there. Have his ratings dipped at all? No, his ratings haven't even dipped either. They would retain 80% of the contract. I mean, alternatively, yeah, I have to. That's okay. So that 80%'s got to be the number. I think this makes sense. And then we go after just a cheap. This will also jack up our fan interest, which in theory start to give us a little bit more money as people start to pay for season tickets and whatnot. So we're going to make a big splash here at the winter meetings. We're going to pick up Freddie Freeman, put up a 920-something-ish OPS a year ago in exchange for 5 pieces, Masataka Yoshida, Cedane Rafaela, and 3 minor leaguers. We complete the deal. We get a fan interest bump from losing Yoshida, get a fan interest gain from picking up Freddie Freeman. We're now up to an 82, which is back where we were when we started the episode. Freddie Freeman is our starting first baseman. And I think that means Arozarena is our DH. Roman a day Twitch, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. So we need both a shortstop now and a backup middle infielder. Although I suppose Jose Rodriguez can fill that role. He's not a particularly good shortstop, but he can fill that role if we need him to. So we don't have much in AAA right now. We don't have much anywhere, really. A lot of lefty bats. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Which is why I'm hesitant to trade a Arozarena. Yeah, we've got 5 lefties in our lineup, 5 lefties in our lineup. Park factors. It's below average for both lefties and righties. Our lefties could, in theory, hit a crap ton of home runs. But it's suppressed offensively, for both lefties and righties, other than home runs. It is a home run hitting park. It doesn't not a lot of high average hitters there either. I don't think. Yeah, I think let's go and let's talk to Nicky Lopez because we know what we're going to get from him defensively. Shortstop. He's insignificant. Will he take $1 million? No. What about 125? No. 135? Cool. All right. Sign Nicky Lopez. He can't hit, but even if he puts up a 63 OPS in our park, his defense is still really, really good. So we only have $1 million left. I'm thinking about moving on from Quan. Jaylen Brown with a dunk. Thing is, I would like to keep Quan in left field beyond Arozarena, but we need Arozarena's right-handed bat. TCR, and I think it's 110, I think. 115. 115. So it's a little bit higher. Get some randomness in there. Scotty Pods. I called a game with his, I don't know if it was his cousin. I think it was his little cousin last season. Played for, I can't remember. Played for some American Association team. All right. Yeah, so I'm in a situation where I'd like to keep Quan because I feel like it plays into that defense first mentality. He should, in theory, hit enough. Arozarena, but I don't know that we can keep them both next season because one of them's going to have to go to make room for Riley Green. So, yeah. Prospect wise, what do we want to look at? You need someone who hits dingers. Yeah, I mean, an actual legit, like a 65 or 70 home run bat would be a good idea. Especially when you factor in our top six prospects are all pitchers. Serena, Appleby, McKinney, Cesares, Ramos, and Dan. What was his nickname? The Sheriff, Zanger. Yeah, getting Getting a legit power hitter would be nice. Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, if we want to pick up that legit power bat, something here's going to have to go, right? I mean, if we go back to the block. I mean, there's no real power hitters available on the block. We got the best hitter on the block in Freddie Freeman. What do we got for... Let's just look at... Let's do it this way. 65 power, or 60 power overall with 70 power potential. What do we have? All right, we got this guy. Forgot about him. Let's get a scouting report on him. What? What is this? Insanity. Look at Cody Schreier. That is crazy. Wow. Okay. Wish the game would devalue. Yeah, holy TCR is right. You wish the game would devalue 17 to 18-year-old prospects. Yeah, it is. I feel like those players, the international complex should not be in the top 100. Juan Chacon, number 5 prospect in the game. Jordan Walker, Yordan Alvarez, Buxton and Gallo, Schwarber, Judge, Yohander Martinez, Tatis, Alonso. Toronto's got 3. They signed Adrian Hernandez as a free agent, huh? Not a ton of power bats, and we get a flyer here on Ryunosuke Izumi. No, he is not that in SSB, Josh. He is absolutely not. That is just bonkers crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so there's not a lot going on here. Jordan Walker would be nice. Plays for Arizona. He's traded there by St. Louis. That was a bad trade by St. Louis. I don't even want to look. It's just going to upset me. What are his infield ratings? He's an outfielder. Sounds about right. They sacrifice a live chicken, right? Like Serrano, Major League. Number 15 prospect. I don't know that we can get any of these players. I mean, we could easily get one of these two, I imagine. Just some ahead of day real quick. Yeah, our minor league system is really pitcher heavy, and I'm okay with that. Sarah and Appleby will both be up this year. McKinney's probably up next season, which means maybe I want to see something. Let's go back here. Let's see if it's number 5 prospect in baseball. They wouldn't trade him to me. I want to see something. Just want to see something. What have I been smoking? Okay. So I give up Brash and Serna, and I get Jordan Walker. That doesn't do it for me. So that might be a possibility for next season. I didn't want to go shortstop, but that's okay. I wanted to go batters. That says all players. I wanted to go all batters. Come on. There we go. Nah. Nick Allen might not be a bad option as long as he's out for 3 months. If I could get them to retain the entirety of his contract or the majority of his contract. He's another one who can't really hit. Well, actually, in this world, he can hit a little bit. I'm just throwing names in there until okay. Yeah, okay. So I don't have anybody that can make that work. I saw his name and thought maybe. They got Jacob Gonzalez already up, kind of playing shortstop for them already, but I don't know that there's much else that we necessarily need to do here. And Smith Eve, thank you for the follow. God, Oakland's been so bad this year. I saw something today that said they've gotten off to the worst start from a run differential perspective since like the 30s. Like literally, they're on pace to be one of the worst baseball teams of all time. Yeah, so we are really left-handed heavy, but the advantage is that two of the left-handers in our lineup, Freeman and Riley Green, can both hit lefties at a reasonable clip. Freeman is slightly above average against lefties, and Riley Green's actually quite good against lefties. So we have a couple of lefties who can hit lefties. So that's just call you Smith. I will do that, Smith. How are you tonight? How is your Sunday going? Yeah, and I also, Josh, I saw something yesterday on Twitter as well that says he's worth more than either the Ricketts family or Jerry Reinsdorf. So he's worth more than either of the owners here in Chicago, but his team's got a payroll of whatever it is, $30 million or something. Reserve goalie, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who's here hanging out tonight. Yeah, I mean, FJ, you're right. I mean, they'll be in Vegas, I don't know, next year, year after. Can't see anything. Yeah, I guess we just keep going. We'll just I don't know that there's any much else we need to do. I think our pitching staff is fine. I don't see a need to make a move there. We got to give Appleby and Serna a chance, right, given their ratings. Our bullpen, while not as good as last year, I think is still fine. Robinson, Perez, Arrighetti, Cruz is our top four. We've got Norge Vera, who will be erratic, but potentially elite if, he can get over the control. Max Meyer is quite good as a swingman, 40 stamina, but ground ball guy. Frazier Ellard is another one who his ratings look like they've dipped a little bit, but he did pitch in 88 games a year ago. Yeah, I saw NS. There was their payroll in, I think it was the last season of their heyday, whatever that was, 91, 92, whatever it was. The last season of their heyday, they actually had a higher payroll than they do today, or maybe a higher payroll than they did last year. I don't know about this year, but they had a higher payroll in the early 90s than they do right now. So yeah, our bullpen is set. Alamon, Dollard, and Canarino are literally just extra pieces in the back of our bullpen, and those are three really good arms. I think our lineup is much better, especially if we're able to bring in Nicky Lopez to play shortstop. He's not going to hit, but he can play shortstop. Rodriguez is good enough to back up, and he gives us a legit bat. So, if we need to pinch hit or something like that, we've got somebody who can go in and play passable defense at shortstop. That, Josh, that is the storyline of Major League. I mean, that is the movie Major League. Um, that their owner wanted to move them, and so she fielded the worst team possible. Major League, by the way, one of the greatest sports movies ever made. It's one of my favorite movies. Period. Not just sports movies. It's one of my favorite movies. Period. All right, we're at the Rule 5. Anybody we got to put on our 40 man? We have plenty of spots, so we can not be picky about it. If there's somebody who's even remotely interesting, someone like Adam Hackenberg, with his catcher ability, looks okay. We'll put him on the 40 man. We're loaded with catchers, but we may as well take advantage of the fact that we've got the space. Riley Jackson was one of our picks from last season. He's got that home run power that we were talking about, that potential home run power. Black Hollywood, what's going on? Nothing going on here. Just simming through some offseason with the Chicago White Sox. You're absolutely right, Josh. Absolutely right. He's like, well, how can you're curious, what the team charter plane looks like, and if they're taking buses to their destinations and whatnot. But you would think so. You would think so. I mean, he was part of building that team into what they had in the early '90s, and he knew that they were never going to be. I mean, that's why he did. That's why he started building the team the way he did, right? Because he knew that they weren't going to be able to hold on to Tejada and Giambi and all those players, and now they're not even attempting to field a competitive team. It's all young players, and players that are past their prime, and it's just, I don't know. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else we need to put on the 40 man. So we'll go to the Rule 5 and see if there's. I'm curious if we can get a. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? We get a. How do I? Why is my brain broken? Popularity. Am I not seeing it here? It's personality, but that's not popularity. There. Just do that. Do we have any popular players in the Rule 5? It's kind of hoping that we could get someone someone and just stick them on the injured list. Like, why is this guy very popular? Dalton Shuffield. Did he do something? I mean, he's from Tallahassee, Florida. Let's move on. Let's just take a look. All right, so we have Tony Blanco, 21-year-old who's years away. Did you post a link? Oh, brain.exe. Okay. On my phone, it says link deleted. Yeah. Yes, my brain stopped working. When the A's move, is he going to spend, or is he going to be a stingy? My guess is he probably spends, because he hasn't been shy about what he's trying to do, right? I mean, he hasn't been hiding the fact that he's trying to move the team to Las Vegas. So my guess is once he goes to Vegas, he probably spends. I would guess. Oh, I bet, Josh. That's how I felt as a Patriots fan in the early '90s before Bob Kraft bought the team. I mean, they were on their way to St. Louis. They were going to move to St. Louis until Bob Kraft stepped in and bought the team. So, I mean, I know how that feels. And especially if it's your team that you're interested in. Like, I feel bad for Oakland fans because, I mean, you guys have said it. I mean, they were the team, right? I mean, they were the team of the late '80s, the early 2000s. Everybody tried to copy what they did, or not tried to. Everybody did copy what they did. So yeah, it sucks. don't think we're making any moves in the Rule 5. There's nothing here really worth. Maybe Dylan Ray. 4 good pitches. Has the chance to be an ace, really. Really. I mean, we could always take him and then send him. I don't know. I mean, the movement is going to be really bad for guaranteed rate. I don't. We're good. We are good. They'll probably go black and gold or some version of black, and because it's edgy and Vegas is edgy and blah 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 blah. But that would be my guess. I think he has to spend. The story is that he can't spend because of the stadium. Yeah, I don't know if they would make him sell, but he certainly would lose. He would certainly lose that argument, right? He wouldn't be able to use that argument anymore. So, but yeah, I think you're right. Revenue per game's up a tiny bit. I'm surprised that getting Riley Green and Freddie Freeman didn't do more for our fan interest. Honestly. All right. Let's keep simming along here. The Las Vegas Golden Athletics. No. Yeah, I mean, I want them. I would like them to be able to spend Yandy Diaz. We take a fan interest bump, which drops us down to an 80. That stinks. So we signed 2 players who put up just crazy numbers last season. Or I guess maybe not crazy. Green wasn't. I mean, he was okay, but he's 1 year removed from a 6.1 WAR, 951 OPS season. Freddie Freeman, who's coming off of 4.7 WAR season, and Yandy Diaz it basically evens that out. $90 and 72 last year. I feel like we're better than a 90-win team this year. I think our pitching staff will take a small step backwards. At least our starting staff will take a small step backwards. I think our offense will be better. It's January 1st, international amateurs. We got to go back and invite people. I don't know what happened here. We will invite Saros. We will invite Padilla. I guess we'll invite Silva. Ochoa, we will invite him. I don't want to invite I'm not going to pay him $3 million. Let's invite them. Let's look at pitchers. Rojas, Vieira, Santana. Invite them. Practice. All right. I think they'd pressure him to sell because he'd be underutilizing a gigantic and emerging market, which theoretically would cancel out purpose of moving from Oakland to Las Vegas. Yeah, but baseball doesn't have, that I'm aware of, doesn't have a history of forcing people to do that, do they? That's an NFL thing. NFL's done that a couple of times now. Checking to see if Rojas is signed yet. I don't think he has. Yeah, he's still there. And we're not going to be able to afford him at this point, but yeah, he might still come back to us, but I'm hoping. I don't think we're going to get a bump when we get to the beginning of the preseason. Our fan interest only went up a couple of points, but bit of a surprise. All right, let's keep going. Right. If the team makes money, Major League Baseball doesn't care. Right. I think that's the ultimate point. And if they're in Vegas, they'll make money. What do we got? Halftime or third quarter is getting underway. Celtics are up by 12. That's cool. All right, who made the Hall of Fame? Nobody. Beltran, 71% in his fifth year. Beltray, 63% in his fourth season. Sabathia, Suzuki. The game just does not like Ichiro Suzuki at all. Same problem as last year. Just doesn't value him. With revenue sharing, every team makes money. It's almost impossible to lose money as a Major League Baseball owner. Yeah, right. So I can't imagine that unless he did something illegal, that they would force him to trade. That they would force him to sell the team. I can't see it. I could be completely wrong, but I can't see it. All right, it's international amateurs. We have $5.75 million to spend. So do we try to split this up a little bit? There was a pitcher in here that I liked who only wanted like $220,000. Who was it? It was this guy. So we could offer someone like Santana. High work ethic. We could go after. I mean, league interest is only high rather than very high, so I think we could go after Saros and Santana. Maybe Vegas would be one of the crown jewels of the league. There's extra pressure for them to be viable after all the fuss of moving from Oakland. He'd be under the microscope, but again, if the team's making money, like I don't see them caring. I mean, they've allowed teams to be awful for decades. I think somebody said the Pirates, look at the Reds. They've been really bad for years too. So, they just allow teams to be bad at baseball until, they strike it lucky in the lottery or whatever. So I think we have 5.7. So I think if we offer Saros 5, maybe we start offering him 4. What is going on here? Do we not have money? Do we have to take money away from something else? We do. All right, so we'll take this down to 24. All right, now we have money for international amateurs. Oh, yeah, the Cubs are terrible forever, and they're the Cubs. So let's go in here, offer Saros 3.5. I'm hoping that because the league interest isn't very high, that we might be able to get him and not have to smart for 3. Got it. Not have to get into a bidding war. And then Santana wants 210. So we'll offer him $500K. It still leaves us with 1.7, but I want to see if we can sign these players first. Is baseball a big enough draw when compared to other Vegas attractions? They won't really have a hometown fan base. You have the option of U2 at the Sphere, boxing match, NFL games. Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point, too. Not something I really thought about, but, all the stuff to do in Vegas, like, are you going to spend 4 hours, at a baseball game? All right, so we signed Nicky Lopez. We got our starting shortstop. Santana likes the money that we're offering him. Saros likes the money that we're offering him. Hopefully we can sign them both and still have a little money left over. Santana doesn't like what we've offered him. I want to wait on Saros because that's the big one. Cool. So we got Saros for 3.5. Center fielder with all of the high personality stuff. That could be a big signing for us. So we still have 2.25. The Raiders and the Golden Knights draw fine, but it's because they're competitive. Are the Raiders competitive, or are they the Raiders? You know, like the Golden Knights, yeah, they draw because they've been successful for their first couple of seasons, but the Raiders draw because they're the Raiders. So do we go for another bat, or do we lean into this I think we lean into this Santana thing. Offer him $1 million. See if we have any money left over. It looks like we're probably going to get to the start of next season anyway. I don't know if I'm going to go till 9 tonight, guys. I'm sort of burned here. So maybe go for another hour or so, see how far we can get, and then go inside and eat something. Yeah, he didn't bump our budget at all. And now Miggy Rojas wants to talk to us again. We have $1.288 million. Financially, payroll goes up $30 million. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked by the basketball game. Smart hit a 3. Tatum just got fouled. Sorry. We have Arozarena, Green, Quan, Parker Meadows in the outfield. Dollard, $4 million next year. Arrighetti goes up to 8 next year. They made the playoffs in 2021. What you're saying is if the Athletics move to Vegas and stink, the league would not be happy because I don't think they'd draw in Vegas under those circumstances. The Raiders would draw anywhere. Yeah, the Raiders would draw anywhere. Yeah, well, you got to remember, right? I mean, you very rarely are you going to play an afternoon game in Vegas. Like nobody's awake at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Vegas, right? Like even on the weekend, like a Saturday afternoon game in Las Vegas, like who's going to go to that? You know, who's going to, I mean, maybe they have, you know, other stuff going on in there at the same time, but who's going to go to an afternoon game in Las Vegas on a Saturday? Well, you would have to assume that they're going to have a domed stadium. You have to. You can't not have a domed stadium in Las Vegas for baseball. You just can't. So Cease's option is a vesting option. And it's vesting at 160 innings pitched. Maybe Cease is the odd man out next year of all things. There's a lot going on. I mean, anything could happen. But right now I'm thinking about a way of potentially freeing up about $4 or $5 million to sign Rojas. Vegas, Miami at 2:30 on a beautiful Monday. Both teams are below. Yeah, I mean, they probably would still draw better than Oakland, right? I mean, I've done college games this year that have drawn better than what Oakland draws to some of their games. Arrighetti. Max Meyer. Yeah, I mean, Dollard at 4, depending on how he pitches this year, is probably not a viable option next year. The stadium is going to be a giant casino with overpriced beer and some ball and stick game happening over. You're right. I mean, they probably could just put like 15,000 seats in the stadium and have every seat come with like its own slot machine and have, you know, blackjack out on like the walkway around like left and right field and just have people sit and gamble while they watch baseball. I think you're not far off. I'm sorry I'm stuck here, guys. I'm just trying to figure out if it makes sense to free up a little bit of money to get Rojas back and then use Nicky Lopez as our backup middle infielder. I think that makes more sense because at least Rojas is a passable bat, but I'm going to need to free up some money in order to do that. See, that's the thing. They're making money. So that's why they haven't gone anywhere, because they're making money. I mean, if it was all about the attendance and fan interest, then yeah, they should be gone. But it's not. So what do I do to free up some money here? Baseball, because yeah, right. I mean, that's all it'll be. That's all it will be. Celtics are up 9. Nice. Arrighetti gets us 5. Robinson gets us 5. We got Robinson locked down for a few more years. Arrighetti gets expensive starting next season. Position of depth again, maybe. Good catching prospect. 13th overall pick in 2025. What if we do this? Can we get a relief pitcher that's 80% of Arrighetti for a tenth of the price, or something to that effect? Ryan Bayo. Bayo's making 3 in arbitration. That might not be a bad option if we could get them to retain. Christian Scott. The Trop is so bad. I've been to Tampa for hockey, believe it or not, but I didn't go for baseball. Oh, FJ, that's actually, think about the amount of money they could make if they did like real-time gambling, like at the ballpark. You have like LCD screens on your seat, and you can bet $10 to this pitcher. Is this guy gonna ground out, or is he gonna get a hit? Is he gonna strike out? That's actually really intriguing. The Rays are weird because you think that putting a stadium in Tampa instead of St. Pete's would make them a top half budget team with their success. The stadium that's what I've heard, that it's hard to get to. All right, guys. Well, I think Arrighetti's going to go. There's a couple of interesting options here. This guy, Gabriel Hughes, looks pretty okay. Trade Arrighetti to the Rockies. Kyle Harrison. Trevor Rogers, no. Pete Rose. Pete Rose would love it. Yeah, I mean, there are obviously potential issues with that, right? I mean, I guess the players don't really care about that stuff. There's no way DraftKings or FanDuel won't be a part of the new stadium. Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. But yeah, like that's the one FJ that I think you would see more of. Like, I bet my mortgage on you getting a hit here. That sort of thing. Gabriel Hughes. So they'll make this deal. Will they retain? So to retain, I have to give up something. Well, I don't want to give up anything. What if you retain 50%? Sure, you want a 29-year-old second baseman or center fielder? So if we make this deal, we lose Arrighetti, who's popular. We bring in Gabriel Hughes, who we likely would pitch out of the bullpen this year, and that gives us another starting option next season. But he looks pretty good. 55 stuff, 50 movement, 55-60 control, 4 above average pitches. What does OSA think? OSA doesn't like him quite as much. This will allow us to free up enough money to sign Rojas and then use Nicky Lopez as our backup middle infielder. Fans don't like that. If that happens, would the ballpark be a strict 18? I would think that it would be that it would have to be like an on-off thing. Like you would have to scan your driver's license or something like that to be able to activate, or I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some way it can work. Like I don't know exactly how, but there would have to be some way it could work. What if we make him a reliever for this year? What does that do to his ratings? It goes up to 60. All right, so he's not quite as good as Arrighetti, but he's younger, he's cheaper, and it frees up the money so that we can go back now and we can talk to Rojas, bring Miggy back on another 1-year contract. Offer him 5 years. Oh. 5. Dude, that's all I can offer you. Thank you. Just take it. All right, let's keep going. Let's get to next month. Ooh, it's an 8-point Celtic lead in the third quarter. I mean, because you gotta limit underage gambling, of course. Bunch of drug kids asking their kids for. Well, that's blowing a call and costing you $100 in real time at the stadium. Yeah, I mean, you could potentially see, issues on the field with, player like fans coming down and just, losing their mind because they just lost $500 or something. Training. Okay, so Rojas signed his contract, so he's back for a 3rd season. We have $8,200 to spend. Our fan interest at a 78, which is not great. So hopefully we can win, and that will cure all, as they say. So this is what our team looks like. Where is Rojas? So this is what our team looks like at the moment. I feel like that's a pretty okay team. We've got 5 lefties, 4 righties. When we play against lefties, none of these players really are going to come out. Maybe Meyer sits a little bit, and that's where we give Rodriguez a chance to hit. But, I mean, same thing with Gorman and Jaloff maybe a little bit. But I like our team. Look forward to the rumors of a player asking to be traded from Oakland because they recently found out they have a problem with gambling. Yeah, right? $8K, I could get a used car for that. And if I were Oakland, you could pay for like multiple team bus rides. Oof, DeJounte Murray, man. DeJounte Murray is a good basketball player. So I like what we did. I mean, we made some deals from positions of strength. We moved some of our bullpen arms. Brought in a couple of really solid bats. One of them will be a rental. We're obviously not going to pay Freddie Freeman beyond this year. But Riley Green, depending on his ARB number, stocking the show. Exactly, 100%. All right, so let's set our pitching staff. We'll go with a 6-man rotation out of the chute, go with Gabriel Hughes. And this is something I've been doing with Out of the Park Baseball 24 is with my in spring training, I am going week by week, and I'm upping the pitch count from 40 to 60 to 80. I just let the AI set up the bullpen roles. I don't really care about those. Literally Moneyball. Lineup perspective. Let's see what it does with our lineup. A Rosarena, Kwan. It wants Kwan as the DH. No. Rosarena, Kwan, Freeman, Green, Gorman, Rojas, Meyer, Parker Meadows in center. And Blake Hunt. Really? No. Benny Montgomery in right, Riley Green in center. Against lefties, we absolutely want Benny Montgomery out there. Riley Green in center. Does it have? Do I have Parker Meadows set to force? No, I don't. I wanted to see if I had him forced at center because that's why the game would put him in there. You set it for 65. Yeah, I set it for a 6-man rotation, and then I sim a week at a time, and I go 40, 60, 80, 80, and then just leave it there. Meadows will back up. Meadows will back up. Since it is spring training, I don't care. Against lefties, same deal. Sim a week. I think we're going to be okay. I fully anticipate that Freeman's going to end up hitting like 270 with 15 home runs or something this year. You're helping with your girlfriend's team on Perfect Team so she can do. I've struggled with Perfect Team. I tried to get into it. I have a team, and it's something that I go in and I look at. But I've struggled to really get into it. Like apparently I got bumped up a level after the last season, and like I didn't even notice that I had that like I was not playing in the lowest level anymore. So Serna gets a little better, Vera gets a little better, Cam Robinson, his movement gets better. Roderick Arias gets a little well, that sucks. He gets better, but he actually looks worse now. Did we sign that pitcher? I think we did. Yeah, we did. So we have some decent players in the international complex. Whether or not any of them will ever actually turn into anything remains to be seen. But there's some decent skill sets here. Yeah, NS. It's you. You start with a team of players that are rated in their 40s. On a 1 to 100 type scale, and then you can get additional cards for finishing tasks or winning leagues or stuff like that. So it is ultimately a pay to win type of setup, which is why I haven't really been able to get into it. I struggle with the whole pay to win setup, so it's not anything I've really been uber invested in. But I do check the team, and I make changes, and if I get cards, with new players, I'll put them in there and that sort of thing. But yeah, not anything that I've been crazy involved in. But there are a lot of people that are. I mean, Out of the Park Baseball has invested a ton of money into their Perfect Team, and that's why there are however many people are in here right now. That's why there are 50 people in here right now, because the majority of them are here for the drops. They're here to get the free packs from being in the channel. You're free to play. Yeah, so am I. I won't spend any money on cards. Every card I've gotten so far has been through spending the coins that I've gotten through just playing. What do we got to do? We got to set our pitch count. We're going to leave it like that. Yeah, well, let Serna and Hughes get through their second starts of 40 pitches. And then we'll bump them both to 62. 60 as well, I should say. Celtics are up 8. All right. So now they can both go to 60. Sim ahead another week. So we'll see. I'm intrigued with our team this year. I am intrigued. I think we added like I've said it a couple of times now. I think we've added a couple of decent bats. I think our pitching will take a step backwards, but I think overall, I think we'll probably be a better team. Serena hasn't given up a run in 10 innings here in spring training so far. So Go to 80 now, and now we just stay at 80 through the rest of spring training. I've been doing that because I've been finding that it's been limiting the injuries. I haven't seen as many pitcher injuries doing it that way. So just what I've started. I have no actual like facts to show that that's a real thing, but that's how I've been doing it. So opening day is the 1st. So we'll go ahead another week. We will send everybody down that we got to send down, and looks like we're going to get the season underway. Brown at the free throw line. Do they do events? They have tournaments. I couldn't tell you much about them because I haven't done any of them, but they do tournaments and stuff. All right, so our preseason's come to an end. We are at 35 players. We're at 17 pitchers. Pitching ratings. Connor Phillips is terrible. We'll send him down. What happened here? Oh, mother trucker. That sucks. All right, well, we needed to move Arrighetti's contract. We did that. This hurts, though. This hurts. Because there were other potential players there that looked better. So Hughes is going to go to AAA. Makes sense. Ramp them up like in real life. I think the rehab assignments are more important. Yeah, if you have a pitcher who's out for 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever. Yeah, TCR, give it. You got that right. They take it. Yeah. I think if you have a pitcher that's been out for a while and you just put them right back on the big league roster, you will see them get lit up. 100%. 100%. We got to send one more pitcher down. I think it's got to be Alamon. Raylan Perez didn't pitch particularly well, but he's pitched really well the last 2 seasons. Yeah, it's got to be Alamon. All right. So there is our 5-man rotation. So we give Cease a limit of 110. Brash will give a limit of you know what? I think Brash has pitched well enough, and we're probably not going to re-sign him. So if we put a little bit more wear and tear on that arm, I don't care. Appleby and Serna will both start at 90. Celtics are only up 6. Ugh. All right, so Cam Robinson is our closer. I'm good with that. I don't want a fly ball pitcher as our setup, man. I'd rather have Cantorino in a middle relief role. I think we put Cruz in as the setup. Meyer and Perez as our middle relievers. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, Josh, I think you're right. You do that. You work on their pitch count just like you do in spring training and potentially limit how much they get hurt. So that puts us at 31. So we got to send 5 batters to the minors. Oh, that was a deep 3. This is a 3-point basketball game. Come on. Pavloni and Hackenberg will both go down. Jaloff goes down. Jung goes down. I think we still have to send more down, right? We got to send one more player down. Marcus Smart to the rack. All right, so we got to send one more player down. It's not going to be any of our outfielders. Oh, Roderick Arias. I don't even know why he's on the team. So there is our big league roster. Let's clear the lineups. Let's set our lineup now. So Green and Freeman. Yeah, we've got 3 lefties at the top of our lineup. I think we go Quan and then split it up. Put a Rosarena or Montgomery in the 2 hole. It's a Rosarena. Yeah. Rizarena in the 2-hole. Freeman third or Green third? I think we put Freeman third, Green fourth to get a little bit more power. Ashante Warrior, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday evening. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to go lefty, lefty, lefty. Put Montgomery in there and right. Marcelo Meyer at second. Sugeste and Rojas. Yeah, we're lefty heavy, but again, I think I don't want him starting every third game. But I think the lefties that we have, like we don't bat Freeman third against lefties, but we can leave Riley Green batting third against lefties with his 70 contact without much trouble. Hunt will start every third game. We don't want the catchers getting tired. No. He'll start once a week there. He'll start there, and he'll start every fourth game out in right field, I guess. Yeah, Rojas and Lopez. Rojas and Lopez can rotate at second base. I'm fine there. We'll just copy and paste and then switch some things around. All right. So Kwan stays at the top of the order against lefties. Yeah, our 1-2, I think, stays the same. Green moves up to the 3 spot. Ooh. I think Rodriguez will play quite a bit more against lefties. Play every third and fourth game. Nicky Lopez will play less against lefties because he is a lefty. We'll leave the outfield the way it is. Yeah, I think we may need to figure out, we may need a right-handed bat. Where? Like a right-handed infield bat maybe as the season progresses. I also now want to, because we don't have a lot of minor leaguers, I want to go in and fill in some depth here. This is some of the stuff I do offline that you guys don't see when I'm simming ahead. But like I'll go through and I will sign as many of these minor leaguers as I can to fill out my roster. And that gives us some depth in case of injuries, or we can actually use some of those players in potential trade bait. Justin Steele is a free agent. Interesting. Okay. Yarvis, you say Kikuchi? He was good for us a couple of years ago. He's extremely popular. Syndergaard, sure. Michael Wacha, sure. Bunch of veterans in our AAA rotation. There's Foster Griffin from from our Cubs save, I should say. Opening day coming up. Okay, so all of those players signed, which is good. Fills our minor league system with some decent talent now. We've got Harrison Bader and Trent Grisham playing in Double-A. Love it. Love it. Colin McKinney, I think, is ready for Double-A. What about Riley Jackson? Yeah, his ratings have already dropped. Okay, well, that sucks. We'll let him start in high A ball and see how it goes. How's Zanger? Ratings, I don't think have dipped on Zanger just yet. We're okay there. Garrett Mesh was an 8th-round pick. His ratings look to have survived here a little bit. Cesares. He's going to get his first taste of minor league ball this year. Mullinax, we'll let him start in A-ball. Yeah, we don't have much in the way of minor league depth, but that's okay. Let's delete the messages. Get to opening day. I I think it depends. Because I think in Out of the Park 22, I ended up winning more World Series, but I played with like 4 different teams. Because with Arizona, I won 3 straight, right? NS, I think I won 3 straight. With the Rockies save, I also won 3 games or 3 World Series. They just weren't in a row. And then prior to that, I would win and then take over a new team. Yeah, 3 in a row. I would win and then take over a new team. So I think in Out of the Park 22, I won with the Tigers, the Reds, the Royals, maybe. I can't remember, but yeah, that's how I did it previous. All right, so yeah, Gabriel Hughes, we already saw his drop. Gabriel Rodriguez. Man, I would love to see the movement or control improve here because that's a huge bump to all of his stuff right there. Another reliever, which is huge for us because we are potentially going to need some relief help. So let's go ahead and disable AI promotion there. McKinney got better, which we already saw. An Oakland redemption series. I don't want to do Oakland only because it's being done right now by his name is eluding me, and it really shouldn't because he puts on good stuff. What's his name? Skinny Pete. Skinny Pete is doing an Oakland A's series right now, and I don't want to take away from what he's doing because he's putting together a pretty good series himself. So maybe when he's done, I can fire up Oakland and I can give them a shot. But I don't want to take away from what Skinny Pete is doing. Speaking of which, go see Skinny Pete. Go follow Skinny Pete's channel because I like his stuff too. I'm scared because they beat. I don't know if they beat me or if the financial bug in the game beat me. I stopped because nobody had any money to do anything. It wasn't just me. Nobody had any money to do anything with. So we have a top 10 prospect. We got Luis Serna is number 9. Where do we stand from a minor league system? We're 5th. Serna, McKenny, Cesares, and Saros. Jorge Saros, this is the guy we signed in International Amateurs this year. He's already 77th overall. And then we've got Cesares, McKinney, and Serna. So that works for me. Opening day, taking on the Minnesota Twins. Celtics are up 7. All right, waiver wire. See if there's anything there that might help us out. Robert Colina, wow. 200 ERA plus last year, and the Mets have him on waivers. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to claim him. Not even going to look at other players initially, but I'm going to claim him. 102.96. Any offensive players? Not particularly. Sorry, I keep looking up at the TV. Jazz Chisholm, no. Yeah, I think I'm good with that pitcher selection. Robert Colina, 25 years old, ground ball guy. 4 good pitches. Put up a 1.96 ERA. Right. Yeah, NS, exactly. 100%. I found so many of in this playthrough alone, right? I found so many of our bullpen arms either via the Rule 5 or through the waiver wire. I know last year we picked up Giovanni Cruz on the waiver wire. He was our pickup last year, and all he did was put up a 168 ERA plus. So 100%. All right, we got a game to play. A game was canceled due to bad weather. Okay, we don't have a game to play today. Last year's D-back series doesn't seem so impressive. Man, you just hate, right? Just hate. We won. We put in 3. We won 3 straight worlds. Oh, somebody else claimed Kalina. Nuts. All right. Anybody else? 6-point game. Kyle Harrison, Luis Quinones. Tyler Rogers, if he wasn't making $3 million, would be intriguing. I'm just looking at the extreme ground ball guys because usually their ratings aren't quite as good, but they perform. So, not really anybody else here that I would find uber impressive. All right. We're going to play the game today against Minnesota. Jared, I can't afford him. I can't afford him. He's making $3.2 million, and I've got about 1.5 right now. Yeah, what Arizona's doing, especially in their outfield, is impressive. So the Twins will send Royce Lewis, batting leadoff, playing third. Carlos Correa bats second at short. Alex Kirilloff bats third, plays left. Buxton batting cleanup in center. Joey Gallo out in right field, bats fifth. Connor Norby is their DH, batting sixth. Brooks Lee bats seventh at second. Goldie batting eighth, playing first base for them. And Anthony Siegler will bat ninth, and that's a 3-pointer for the Celtics. It is, putting him up 8. Joe Ryan gets the start. Last year, he was 12-12 with a 4.23. We've got Quan in left, Rosarena at DH, Freddie Freeman batting third, playing first, Riley Green out in center, batting cleanup, Nolan Gorman batting fifth, playing third, Benny Montgomery in right field, bats sixth, Marcelo Meyer hits seventh and is at second base. Adrian Sugastey bats eighth, does the catching. Miguel Rojas bats ninth and is the shortstop. Dylan Cease gets the start, 14-7, 3.61 ERA last year. And we are in Target Field. Nowhere, this is guaranteed rate. I take that back. We are at home, guaranteed rate field. The big Chicago White Sox out in center field gave it away. All right, here we go. Opening day, year 5, and I was about to give away what happened with the Cubs. There's a 5-3 putout. Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa now. Base hit to right field. Alex Kirilloff grounds into a fielder's choice. And Buxton, throw over to first, pickoff. Nice, a pickoff in the first inning. Any draftees, IFAs make it to the 40-man? Not yet. I don't think so. No, I mean, Meyer we traded for in his rookie season. Benny Montgomery we traded for last year, so not really. No, Caleb Appleby. Caleb Appleby we drafted in the 5th round in our first draft in 2023, and he is in the rotation this season. So Caleb Appleby is the only one. We traded for Luis Serna. He is in the lineup right now as well. So those are the 2 big ones. Yes, Caleb Appleby. All right, so Quan Rosarena, Freeman against Joe Ryan. Quan grounds out. Rosarena lines out to right, and Freddie Freeman grounds out to short. So we go 1, 2, 3 in the first. Buxton, the 0-2, strike 3. Joey Gallo flies out to left. We got a really good defensive outfield, so that'll help. And our infield is good enough. Riley Green leading off. Base hit. There's our first hit of the season. A Riley Green single to right. Nolan Gorman flies out to medium right field. Benny Montgomery now drops a bunt down. And the runner is out at second. So we have Montgomery at first with 2 outs. And he steals second. So a runner in scoring position for Marcelo Meyer. Gets the hit down. And Montgomery scores. Cool. So a 2-out RBI by Marcelo Meyer gives us the lead. You can start to tell the benefits of the increased development budget. You're starting to get a lot of... Yeah. I dropped it a little bit so that I could sign international amateurs, so that may be something I have to reinvest into next season, but Sugase strikes out. But we do pick up a run. Brooks Lee strikes out. Cease with his third strikeout. Goldschmidt. Diving play out in right field. Benny Montgomery getting it done out there. Anthony Siegler strikes out. 4 strikeouts in 3 innings for Cease. Miguel Rojas. Is that going to hang up? It is. 1 out. Quan. In the dirt, but picked 2 away, and a rain delay. Come on. 27 minutes. All right. Rosarena. Swings at the 3-0 pitch. Gets a single. Freddie Freeman. Rosarena steals second without a throw. Freeman strikes out. Nuts. Royce Lewis. Cease has set down the first 10 he's faced. No, he gave up a hit in the first, right? He was picked off. Oh, Cease is on fire so far. That's, I think, 5 Ks, 6 Ks through 4. Riley Green leads off. Strikes out. Gorman. He strikes out. And Benny Montgomery. Strike out the side. He is. Okay, I'm going to go to the 5th, still up by 1. Buxton strikes out. Gallo with another diving catch out in right field by Benny Montgomery. And Connor Norby with a 2-out base hit. First hit since the first. Brooks Lee, same exact play. They get a couple of singles here in the 5th. Runners at the corners now for Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt grounds back to the pitcher. An infield hit for Paul Goldschmidt. Of course. Goldie, noted speedster, Paul Goldschmidt, with the infield single in the 5th to tie it up. Marcelo Meyer leads it off. He strikes out. That's 4 in a row for Ryan. Sugase grounds out to short. Our offense not getting anything done here. More of the same. Tied at 1 through 5. Lewis strikes out. Correa with a bloop single to center. Kirilloff, he gets a single to center. It's 5 singles in like the last 7 batters against Cease. Buxton strikes out. And Gallo goes yard. Of course. Cool. So we're down 4-1 here. Cease grounds out to 3rd. And that retires the side. But all of a sudden, Cease's line doesn't look great. 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. They're going to a bullpen arm. Quan pops out to center. Rosarena walks. Ball gets away. He goes to second. Freddie Freeman now with a runner at second base. And he gets a single down. I don't think that's going to score. Nope, Rosarena stops at 3rd. So runners at the corners for Riley Green, who strikes out. And they're bringing in Rodriguez to pinch hit. Okay. And he draws a walk. So the bases are loaded for Benny Montgomery. Benny Montgomery, did he get all of it? He did. Benny Montgomery, the grand slam in the 6th. Let's go. No, I really don't. I really don't, NS, although right here, Benny Montgomery gives us the lead, so I'll take that. But yeah, the offense seems to struggle on opening day in most of these saves. So Cease is still out there. Cease still out there. And hit hard the last couple of innings. Ooh, they bring in Norge Vera. Strikes out Goldschmidt. And gives up a single. Yep, gives up a single to Siegler. Gives up an extra base hit to Royce Lewis. Cardinal fan, neither. I'm a born and raised New Englander. I'm a Red Sox fan. I am a Red Sox fan through and through. I just thought it would be fun to do both a Cubs and a Sox playthrough at the same time. So they got 2 on, 2 out. Norge Vera against Carlos Correa, and he strikes him out. Wow. Go to the stretch. We're up by a run. Sugestay leads off. I got my Ted Williams jersey back there. Ted Williams and Kevin Garnett. So get the leadoff hitter on in the 7th. Rojas, that'll be a fly out to center field. 1 away. Kwan now. There's a base hit, I think, for Kwan. Yep. Sugestay stops at second. So 2 on, 1 out in the 7th for Rosarena against Jackson Wiggins. Rosarena strikes out. So 2 on, 2 outs now for Freeman. Is he going to strike out as well? He is. All right, we go to the 8th. Is Vera still out there, or do we go to somebody else? We go to Frazier Ellard against a pinch hitter. It's an interesting choice. Well, I guess there's probably a lefty in that spot before, and I have him listed as the specialist. Going to be a hit for Buxton. It is. Ellard against Gallo. Grounds into a double play. Cool. Yeah. NS, I am a Bruins fan above all else. I mean, I love all Boston sports, but I'm a Bruins fan. If I could have only one team win a championship, it would be the Bruins. It would be the Bruins, then the Red Sox, then the Celtics, then the Patriots. That's my pecking order of my 4 teams. And I'm probably only saying that about the Patriots because they've won so many that I don't really care if they don't win another. Truth be told. Riley Green to right. That'll be an out. 1 away. Rodriguez. Now he walked last inning. Jose Rodriguez comes up. Gets on base twice in the final 2 innings of the game. Benny Montgomery with the big hit. The grand slam. Here he grounds into a double play. 9th inning. We have a 1-run lead. We're going to go to our closer, presumably. Yep, we go to Cam Robinson. Norby. The line out to short. Brooks Lee. Gets through Rodriguez at third. Be a 1-out single. Pick another pickoff play. It's a second pickoff play of the game. Goldschmidt grounds to second. We're going to win on opening day for the first time in a while. We win 5-4. Am I a BC fan too? I mean, sure. You know, I'll root for BC if they are on TV or whatever. But I wouldn't call myself a Boston College fan. I am a fan of the University of New Hampshire, which is where I went to college. So it's primarily a hockey school. They play D1 basketball. They've never been great. They had a pretty good team this year. Their football team is FCS, and they've generally had a pretty good FCS football program. But yeah, I'm less about the college game than I am the pro game. Between the Leafs, Jays, Expos, and Nordiques, there's only one championship you were alive for, and you were like 8 months old. It was the Jays, of course. You'd settle for any of them. Yeah, I'm sure. So, Josh, are you you talk about the Expos and the Nordiques? Do you cheer for the Avalanche, for example? Chip Kelly and Ryan Day. Yeah, Chip Kelly was at UNH right after I graduated. Yeah, he was their offensive coordinator, and then he went to Oregon and he started that whole style of offense. But I shouldn't say started; they were running that style of offense at UNH when I was there in the late '90s. So that they've been running that. They were running that offense for decades at this point. So we won on opening day. I mean, that's a good thing. We won on opening day. We got the big hit from Benny Montgomery, the grand slam. Otherwise, not a lot going on from an offensive perspective. Dylan Cease picked up the win. Vera, Ellard, and Robinson do their thing, and grand slam on opening day. All right, so we'll sim ahead a few days here. You'll never root for the Avs. I wouldn't necessarily root for them either, but there are people who stay fans of the team they rooted for that moved. Like if the Patriots had ended up moving to St. Louis, I probably would have rooted for them. Truthfully. A 5-point game, 4 minutes left. Not a fan of the Nats either. Everyone you knew was too salty that they left to continue to support them. I guess it depends. I mean, like you can't blame the players, right? You blame the ownership, but yeah, I get it. Nice. All right, so let's sim a few days. Let's sim some days here. Another rain out. So we have rain out, and the game forces us into a double header for our second and third games of the season. See how the double header goes. Win one, lose one. Quan with 2 hits. Marcelo Meyer, 2 RBIs. Brash goes 6. So this was Elder. Yeah, Elder got lit up. Not good. Green and Gorman both homer, though. All right, we got Tampa. Jose Urquidy against Caleb Appleby. 5-4 loss. Serna makes his big league debut against Tampa, and it's a 16-7 win. Wow. Serna not go deep enough into the game. Yeah, he went 4 1/3 innings. Our bullpen got smoked, but offensively, we got it done. 5 RBIs from Freeman and Gordon. Yeah, I'll just leave this box score up here for a second for those of you who are watching ads. Hey, guys, take a look at this box score. We won 16-7 over Tampa. This was Luis Serna's big league debut. The game only let him go 4 1/3 innings. Walked 5. Pitch count was at 86. Probably should bump that up if he continues to play well. But Gorman hits 2 home runs. Freeman hits 2 home runs. Sugastey and Meyer each homer. And we win 16-7. Our bullpen got a little bit hammered there, but a win's a win. And game 3 against Tampa with Dylan Cease back on the bump. Thinking about it. 3-2 win. Dylan Cease 2-0 here in the early going. Rojas a couple of hits. Rodriguez with an RBI. Dylan goes 7 2/3. Game 4 against Tampa. We win again. It's a weird dichotomy. I'd be more apt to root for a team if they kept the same nickname as opposed to a wholesale team, city, and yeah, I guess. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense too. I mean, thankfully, it's not anything I've ever had to worry about. But yeah, it's. I guess I don't. I feel like I would have rooted for that team that was in St. Louis that used to be the Patriots. I don't know that I could have just up and picked a new team. Like, I don't know that I could have just picked a new franchise to root for. Tatum for 3. A huge 3. They're up 12 with 2 minutes left. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know that I could have just picked a new team. Once the Rams left, so did your fandom for the NFL. I get it. That ultimately, that's probably where I would have gone. Cardinal fan, I probably would have just said, I'm just done. I'm just not interested. Because, like, I don't really, like, I watch college football because it's entertaining and it gives me something to do on Saturday afternoon. But I don't really have a rooting interest. Like, I don't need to have a rooting interest in the NFL. In fact, after the whole Hamlin thing this year. I didn't watch much football this year because I just really wasn't enamored with the NFL and how they handled player safety and everything else. So, yeah, I could have seen myself just walk away. I could see myself just not rooting for another team. So we went 2-1 in 10, so we're off to a decent start. Only RBI for Nicky Lopez, who's hitting 500. Brash goes 4 1/3 shutout, hitless innings. Rest of our bullpen looks like they're settling down here a little bit. San Francisco now. Former White Sox pitcher Reed Detmers. Look at the year Detmers had last year. Wow. We traded Reed Detmers to San Francisco and he won 16 games a year ago. See how he does against his former club. Peach King, SMJ, thank you for the follow. We win again. Yeah, Cardinal fan, I saw that the Battlehawks are like, they've had to like open new parts of the stadium because so many people want to come and watch the games. That's been crazy. And I haven't really gotten into the XFL. I watched every New Orleans Breakers USFL game last year. I was really into it. I was really into Celtics are up by 8 with a minute left. Yeah, I was really into it last year. But yeah, that's been impressive watching them sell out the stadium for that. Jaylen Brown with the dunk. They're up 10 with 49 seconds left. I think that'll do it. Anyway, yeah, I've been impressed with what I've seen, them selling out extra tickets and opening up new parts of the ballpark and stuff. So Riley Green off to a good start. Freddie Freeman struggling a little bit. Stephen Kwan bouncing back after a rough last season. We win 7-5 here. Elder looks like he had a much better outing this time around. Yeah, he did 1 run in 5. Meyer got hit hard, but the rest of the bullpen did okay. Appleby on the mound today against Alek Manoah. We lose 3-1, and Serna. 7-3. Luis Serna with his first big league victory goes 5 1/3. Gives up 1 earned run. Get RBIs from Freeman, Meyer, Rodriguez, Lopez. Celtics are going to be up 3-1. We are 7-3 through 10 games, tied with the Cleveland Guardians. Caleb Appleby, diagnosis pending. Absolutely wonderful. So we lose Appleby for the year. 2 starts into his season. Is that what's going to happen this year? 4 weeks. Okay, not terrible. I mean, Cardinal fan, how would a new franchise prove their loyalty other than coming to St. Louis and being in St. Louis? Right? Like, isn't that enough? Suga stay with a home run. Freeman 2 hits and an RBI. Dylan Cease is 3-0. So we got to put Appleby on the injured list. And I guess we call up Casetta Stubbs. Oh, my nose is super itchy. Sorry, guys. Super professional streamer. Here, you know me. We'll call up Casetta Stubbs, and then I think Dollard goes into the rotation. Casetta Stubbs is our long reliever. How would a new franchise prove that they want to stay in St. Louis? I don't understand. I mean, they're not going to come to St. Louis and then leave in a year. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how this works. See if maybe we can get to the end of April. 8-3, 8-4 is Cease. Well, Cease didn't get the loss. Brass pitched in that game. Final game of the series against St. Louis, against Seattle, and we lose 5-0. Big time streamers have someone to scratch their nose for them. Yeah, I think you're right. That's what I need to be. I need to be a big time streamer. How did Sean? Wait. No, I wasn't thinking of Sean Manoah. I was thinking of Alek Manoah. Those names are too similar. So Taylor Dollard will get the start against Sean Manaea. We're 8-5, 9-5 with a 5-2 win. You care about that stuff? I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Like, I don't care if you know, Rafael Devers never goes to a Celtics game. Like, it doesn't bother me. He's being paid to play baseball for the Red Sox, like, not to be like, showing up at Celtics games or Bruins games. Like, I don't care about that stuff. Riley Green, 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. Marcelo Meyer, Dollard pitches well. Game 2 against the Mets. We lose. And Dylan Cease looking for his 4th victory of the month of April, and he doesn't get it, but we win 9-6. Yeah, you're right, NS. I mean, most new franchises are getting those, it's not just a stadium that they're getting. They're getting a whole development, right? They're getting everything. Riley Green is raking, which is great. It's bad for us for next year. In fact, his ARB number was 30 million. What does he want? 44. What if we gave him 32? Oh, I can't give him 32. Right, because I don't have the money for it right now. So Cease gets hit hard, but the bullpen does their job. We got Seattle again. I mean, I think it's neat that the teams support each other and that sort of thing, but I think it's more of a professional respect than anything else, right? Like Jason Tatum will support Rafael Devers, and they'll all support Patrice Bergeron because they're all professional athletes and they're in the same city and they want the teams to do well. But I don't think they're doing it because it's like, we need to show the city that we care about the city of Boston. Like, I don't care. Go out there and do your job and do it well, and that I find important. We win 7-2. Freddie Freeman's over 300. Nolan Gorman's got 6 home runs already. Brash gets his first win of the year. 12-6, another win. Nolan Gorman, 7 home runs, 16 RBIs already. Benny Montgomery had that big opening day and not much sense. Sugastay and Rojas with a couple of RBIs. Elder's seen that ERA drop nicely. Dollard on the hill today. We lose. You're not talking about the players. You're talking about the owners. I mean, I would think that if usually when you have a new franchise, right? If we're talking about a new franchise, like not a team moving to St. Louis, but if you're talking about like an expansion franchise, usually the people who own those teams are from that area, right? Like, you wouldn't have some guy from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, buy a professional football team in St. Louis. Like, if there's going to be professional basketball in St. Louis, it's probably going to be led by somebody who's from the area. That's at least my take on it. All right, Texas. Where's Texas this year? Texas is leading their division. All right, they're the defending World Series champions. Griffin Canning and then old friend Tanner Houck on the mound in the second game. We win 13-7, or we win 5-2. We are now 13-7. Scenario if an existing team comes here. I mean, I would just think that if an existing team came there, that would be enough to show that, they're interested in being there. They wouldn't have gone there otherwise. They're not going to show up and then move again in 2 years. Rosa Reina hits a home run. He's only hitting 200. It's not great. Serna, 5 1/3 shutout. I think after a month, I think we bump his pitch count to 100 simply because he's dominating. Cantorino, Ellard, Robinson blows the save. Cruz gets the win. Oh, Vera's been really good out of the bullpen. 8 innings, no walks, 12 strikeouts so far. Wow. Game 2. 14-7. You feel different because Greinke brought the team to St. Louis. And I get it. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I get why why you feel that way. I would just look at it, like I said, from a perspective of if somebody's bringing the team to my town, then that means they want to be here. And maybe you get burned, maybe you don't, but I would be all in. Another win. We're 14-7. Our first 21 games. We got Brash on the mound today, so we look for the sweep over the defending World Series champions, and we get it in convincing style. Freddie Freeman, our 2 offseason acquisitions are absolutely raking through the month of April. Freddie Freeman, 347, 5 homers, 17 RBIs. Riley Green, 417, 4 homers, 20 knocked in. Rosarena, a couple of runs knocked in. Brash goes 4 2/3. Casetta Stubbs, we called him up as a replacement, and he's pitching well. It's going to be hard to send him down. The XFL caca. I got you, man. You root for who's there. I mean, I wanted there to be a USFL team or an XFL team in Boston, 100%, so I could root for them. So I sort of picked the New Orleans Breakers last season on draft day, and I rolled with them throughout the year. Elder on the hill as we try to improve to 16-7. We lose 14-4, not good. Dollard now. Back-to-back losses. And Serna looking for his second victory of the year. And he gets it. I think letting him go a little bit further into the game is a good thing. Yep, he pitches 6 here. Meyer hits his 4th home run. 16-9. And now we got Minnesota again. They're in last place. This will get us to the end of the month and probably the end of my stream because I'm tired and I'm hungry. Sugastay and Meyer both homer. Cease is 4-0, the sub-4 ERA. They're sending Ryan against Matt Brash. Yeah, that's true, NS. They were. The Boston Breakers. That's been there have been teams in Boston that have used that name in a couple of instances, not just football. There was a lacrosse team, major indoor lacrosse team called the Boston Breakers. How many football? There's 3. There's the USFL, the XFL, and then obviously the NFL. All right, so we get to May 1st at 18-9. We had a 3-0 shutout here. Brash goes 5, strikes out 11. Norge Vera still not to allow a run in the month of April. 12 innings, 7 hits, 4 walks, 19 strikeouts. Robinson with 10 saves in the month of April. I'll take it. I will take it. And we saw some decent growth. Meyer, Quan, Montgomery gets worse. That's not. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, no wonder they were willing to trade him to me for next to nothing. That sucks. Okay. So an outfielder might be something we're looking at here as we move forward. Jay Wolfwick gets better again. We didn't even get the hitter of the month. He went to Aaron Zavala. Really? He did it 409. That's okay. Jacob Berry is your hitter of the month in the NL, AL. Pitcher of the month, Luis Guerrero of the Red Sox. Oliver Roku is your pitcher of the month in the National League. Rookie of the month in the AL, Dennis Colleran. And Hunter Goodman is your batter of the month. Yeah, so outfield might be an issue. Benny Montgomery's numbers are not good. So I think we're going to lean heavy into this left-handed hitting thing here in here against righties. Go with 6 lefties in our lineup. Take a quick look at our offense. Riley Green, 1.5 WAR, 500 BABIP through the month of April. He is on pace for a 9-win season, 24 home runs, 126 RBIs. Nolan Gorman with 8 home runs in the month of April. That's what we were hoping for. Freddie Freeman putting up a 900 OPS. Stephen Kwan still not hitting. He's been elite defensively and left, but he's still not hitting. And if he can't hit, I'm not paying him $18 million. Marcelo Meyer showing a little bit of pop, but that average is kind of light. Yeah, we're struggling offensively again. I mean, thankfully, we've got Green, Gorman, and Freeman doing it for us because the rest of our lineup has been not good. So it's something we will keep an eye on. You were wondering if I could do a video on my channel about how to properly relocate a team in a stadium, something you've never messed with. Yeah. I mean, I can do it. There's an app out there that will actually let you set your stadiums up. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I can probably do that. Pitching wise, we just continue to have a really good staff. Luis Serna has been absolutely dominant in his first 5 big league starts, 2-0, only 16 hits allowed, 2.74 FIP, 2.26 ERA plus. Matt Brash continues to just be amazing. Vera and Robinson at the back of our bullpen. Cease has been okay, not great, but he's been okay. We got a couple pitchers that haven't been. Oh, Matt Cantorino's getting absolutely smoked. Avoid high leverage. He's probably the one who goes down once Appleby is back. So, well, this sucks. Fans aren't coming out, even though we are 18-9 through the first month of the season. Hopefully that changes. But I think it's going to do it, guys. I am relocate the A's on the Cubs series. No. Well, I guess maybe I could. I could do it as part of the as like a sidebar video for the Cubs series. We're going to move Oakland to Las Vegas, and this is how you do it. We could do that. I could go into commissioner mode and take them over. But yeah, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm going to go get something to eat. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me tonight, guys. Remember, tomorrow, new Cubs video will be posted. And yeah, you have all have a great rest of your night. And I'll talk to y'all soon. See you.